Hello there. Let's talk about conditionals in Elixir. And in order to do that, I'm going to create a new module. So let's go back to our lib folder. I'm going to do new file, games.ex. And let's assume that we're working with an e-commerce. So I'm going to have one function to retrieve the game, another one to validate if I can purchase the game, and a third function to actually purchase the game. So let's call def module. Okay, we have games. The game's name is inferred from the file name. And then I'm gonna have one function called get. I'm not gonna need any parameters, all right? I'm just gonna return one game so we can play around with the terminal on an easier way. The game is gonna be a map with a name. I'm gonna say Diablo 4. Very good game, by the way. I'm gonna have another field for in stock. I'm gonna say that we have stock for Diablo, and then the price is 100. Okay. Now let's build the validate purchase function. Now to validate the purchase, we need to get the game and check the fields inside the game. So I'm gonna have one parameter called game, then do. All right. Now I'm gonna use traditional if else. And then later we're going to refactor it using cond and case so you can see the Elixir way of doing conditionals. The first condition that I want to check is if the game is not in stock. So I'm going to say if not game dot in stock. If the game is not in stock, I am going to return a tuple. Now this is a very common thing to do in Elixir. Once you have big functions, you usually return a tuple with an atom as the first element, where you're gonna type an atom of OK or an atom of error, depending on the result of the operation, and then the result here, or like an error message. On this case, we're gonna say no stock for this game. Or I'm just gonna say actually game not available. Game not available for purchase. Okay. Now, unfortunately in Elixir, we don't have like an else if. If you want to use an else if, you're going to have to write a bunch of nested ifs. So that's what we're going to do. Here, I'm going to say else. Okay. Now, inside this else block, I'm going to write another if. Here, I'm going to check if game.price is above 50. If the game is above 50, I'm going to say error. Too expensive. Can't buy. Right? Now, if the game is indeed in stock and the price is below 50, I'm going to have another else here. And I'm just going to return, okay, you can proceed with the purchase. Now let's do that. Instead of an and here, I'm going to add another else. And inside this else, I'm going to type if. Oh, actually, I don't need to check anything. Here, I know here that the price is below 50 and it is in stock. So I'm just going to return an atom of okay. And then proceed with the purchase. All right. Now let's check if this works. I'm going to open up my terminal. I'm going to type IEX-S mix to run the entire project on the terminal. Now let's create a local variable. It's going to be game equals games.get. All right. Now the error that we should get is that the price is too expensive. So let's try that. I'm going to say games.validate purchase game. Well, it is too expensive. Now, if I change that to say in stock equals false, right? Now I'm gonna recompile my project. I'm gonna create the variable game once again, game.get, it's games.get. Okay, now I have Diablo 4. It is not on stock. Let's see if the validation works. Games.validate purchase, game. Yeah, game not available for purchase. So this is working. Now, let's start refactoring this. The first refactor that I want to show here is actually another form of if. If you have an if and then followed by a not operator, you can simply remove the not operator and type unless, right? This is the same thing as if and not. Now, it is controversial, this topic, because many developers, including me, don't like unless. Like, I don't know, I don't think this is readable at all. I cannot see an unless and immediately understand what's going on. I need to process a little bit on my mind. So I'm not a huge fan of unless, but fine. Now let's refactor this using a native Elixir conditional called cond. I'm gonna actually move this up, and then below I'm gonna type. The syntax for cond is cond do followed by an and, okay? And the cond is a very nice operation to do if you're checking like random conditionals. Here we're checking if the game is in stock, then later checking if the price is above 50. So we're checking unrelated conditionals. Now that's different. If you were going to check like the different types of results from a function, you would typically use a case that we're gonna show an example in the next couple of minutes. But for this example specifically, I think the cond fits perfectly. So the first condition that we want to check is if the game is in stock. So we're gonna say game.in stock, and then followed by an arrow. And here we're gonna type what you want to return from this function. If the game is actually not in stock, then I want to return this error tuple. Okay, that's it. Now let's go to the next conditional. The next one is if game.price is above 50. Let's write an arrow. And then, whoops, that's too expensive. We cannot buy that. All right, so how do I write a default condition in case these two don't work? Well, you need to write a condition that is always true, and that is true. That's it, as simple as that. Followed by an arrow, and then we're gonna say, okay, you can proceed with the purchase. Now, compare these two guys here. Which one do you think is more beautiful? Check this cond here. I mean, I just love the syntax so much. It is so clear and concise and small. It just makes sense, in my opinion. Now, it takes some time to get used to. It's not the same as writing a bunch of ifs. Cond is something that is unique to Elixir, so it takes time to understand. Now I'm going to remove this, and we need to check if this is working. And to check if this is working, well, the game is not in stock, so we should first of all get this error that the game is not available for purchase. Let's go back. I'm gonna type recompile. I'm gonna create the game variable once again, games.get, okay, and then games.validate purchase, game. There you go, game not available for purchase. Now, if I just do another test of saying that it is in stock, but the price is still 100, we should get too expensive, can't buy. No, actually, we already tested that. I'm just gonna say that the price is 20, okay? So we should get an okay, proceed with the purchase. Let's do that. Recompile. I'm gonna create the game variable once again. Everything's fine. We should be able to purchase the game. There you go. Okay, proceed with the purchase. Perfect. Now let's this is just a function that validates if I can purchase the game or not. This is not what we want. We want to purchase the game. So let's create another function called def purchase. Whoops, purchase. Yeah, I think that's enough. And I need the game, right? Do. Okay. Now, I need to call this function, right? Validate purchase. If the validate purchase returns an OK atom, then I can say, okay, the game is successfully purchased. And what can we do here? Once again, you can simply type if validate purchase game is equals to, I don't know, okay, whatever. You can do some pattern matching here as well, but this is not ideal. What we want to do is actually, we want to call this function and then do some sort of pattern matching to check if we got an error, what type of error we got, or if we got an OK. Here I think it's the perfect example of a case. And this is, we don't use switch in Elixir, so I think the correct way of saying it is case instead of switch case. But here's the syntax. You're gonna type case followed by what you want to pattern match on, which is validate purchase on the game, okay? Do, and now you're gonna type every single pattern match that you want to do with the result of this function, all right? The first check that I want to do is actually check if there was an error. So I'm gonna say, I am expecting a tuple as a result with an error atom, and then I'm gonna save the reason into a variable, and then, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to check. I'm gonna say, now I'm gonna return from this function error, and then I'm gonna say the reason why it failed, error, okay? Oops, error, sorry, reason. Got it. Now the second pattern match that I want to do is I want to check if there is an OK. If there is an OK, to be honest, I don't even care about the message. Like if I got an OK back, that means that the user can buy the game. So I am not going to save that on any variable. And then I'm gonna say nice. Purchase, successful purchase. Successful purchase. Right. And that's it. This is the case. Usually you call case on a function because you want to do pattern matching on the result of that function, all right? And since we're just calling validate purchase inside the purchase, I think this is also a good example of a private function. So I'm gonna say def p, because on a real application, all you care about is finalizing the purchase. You don't care about the underlying validations that happens on the database or on the schema. That's not important. All you want to do is finish the purchase. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the terminal, and then if you type games dot and press tab, I can still see validate purchase. I don't know why, even though it's a private function. Interesting. But okay, let's proceed with, actually let me save that again. Game is equal to games.get. Nice. Now the game is in stock. The price is below 50, so we should be able to successfully finish the purchase. Let me call games dot. I'm just gonna call purchase directly, game. Yes, we got a successful purchase. And as a final test, I'm gonna say that the game is not in stock. To see if that works, I am going to recompile, grab that variable again, and then call the purchase. There we go. Error, game not available for purchase. And that's it for today. I wanted to show you two different methods of doing conditional in Elixir. The first one is a case, and it's very common to call a case to do pattern matching from a function call, and you want to do pattern matching on the result of that function. And it's common to do a cond if you want to check a bunch of unrelated conditions. Like, I don't want to check the result of a function call here. I want to check random stuff. I want to check the stock. I want to check the price. I'm not calling any functions here. I'm just doing some unrelated checks. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.